Hey y'all, it's Anime Man. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 8th episode of Goblin Slayer. And while this episode didn't have a lot of action, it was still relatively pretty good. Because at the very least it made up for it by giving us characterization on the Sword Maiden, by showing that she was traumatized by goblins and she kind of like a fear. And that's why she doesn't physically go and confront them, even though she ironically has the power of being able to defeat, like, I believe she mentioned it was like a demon lord, but yet she's scared of goblins because at least it's implied that, it pretty much implied that they raped her and all that, and that's why she kind of has the trauma against them, and that was pretty nice to see. Didn't really think the show was gonna give characterization to Sword Maiden, because she seemed to be just the character that was just going to give a quest and wipe her hands clean of the situation and bam. So that was nice to see the anime go above and beyond in that regard. And then it was also nice to see, at the very least, while we didn't get to see Goblin Slayer's face because this episode teased the fuck out of us, because we got to see his hair and all that, but we didn't get to see his eyes, and I was like, damn, so close. And that would have been a nice way to actually show off his eyes at the very least, but at the very least they showed us the battle scars in his body, so that was cool. And it was also nice to get a bit more characterization from Goblin Slayer too, because actually no, I wouldn't say it's characterization, I'd say it's a bit, they did give us characterization at the start by showing how he trained as a little kid hard, and simultaneously they gave him character development, because it was nice to see in the scene where the priest is like, oh, did you see anything? And then when he's like, no, I checked to make sure you didn't have any scars. That was a nice bit of character development at the very least, for him to show a good amount of concern for another person that isn't himself. So all in all, pretty nice. This was, at the very least, a good character development for Goblin Slayer. And then I like how this episode continue on giving us more character development when you actually have him and Priestess eat a bit of ice cream and then during that scene, it was nice to see him give details about how he himself is kind of scared of death. And then he also, his sister used to tease him about not wanting to walk immediately because he was kind of scared and all that kind of stuff. And I like that because it's a good character development for the Goblin Slayer, because he's opening up, he's slightly getting out of his shell, and he's giving off personal information about himself to another individual, which would be the Priestess. So that's nice. All in all, some pretty good character development from him. So that's why this episode was pretty good despite the lack of action. And then also like the little sequence too, where you had the elf mention to Goblin Slayer that we didn't want to eat until you were completely well, because if we go questing together, we're also going to eat together. And I like that. It makes the crew, again, feel like it has that kind of like family-friendly dynamic. So that was also another nice element to the episode, showing them off just to bond even more slowly. Because even though it seems like a minor thing, those things still count, because it makes the interactions between Goblin Slayer and the crew feel much more authentic. And then that little sequence where they just took on this eye creature was also pretty nice. It was pretty nice because at the very least we got to see, again, our crew work in like unison with Goblin Slayer having like this flower to have combustion material for this eye creature, Priestess using the shield, and then the elf using the arrow to like hurt the eye creature. And then Lizard Man using the skeleton as like some kind of distraction so that the creature would like hit the flower and it would combust. And then you even have the dwarf kind of put asleep and slow down the reflexes of the eye creature. And I like to see these moments with all of these people working together to take on a creature. And it was just nice to see Goblin Slayer take on a creature that isn't a fucking goblin too. It's always nice to see that. So all these elements made for a pretty nice episode. We got to see teamwork, we got Goblin Slayer character development, Sword Maiden characterization, and all in all, and then the interaction between Priestess and the Goblin Slayer were pretty nice when she was teasing the Goblin Slayer, saying stuff like, you say, I see multiple times. Like, that shit was funny, especially with Goblin Slayer's like, if you want, I could try to change that. So that was pretty nice too, that this episode also put in a bit of humor here and there that, while it didn't make me chuckle or laugh, as you can see in the live reaction, at the very least made me smile. So that's a plus. Not every episode needs to be action-packed or comedy-centered. And all in all, it made for a pleasant experience. And I'm going to rate this episode an overall a 6 out of 10. Because, really, with these type of episodes, they usually border on average, but with that little snippet of Goblin Slayer detailing his past, I mean not his past, not all his past, but detailing a few things from his childhood, the priestess, and seeing the crew work together, it kind of makes it a slightly higher than above average for my score of a 6 out of 10. So anyways, guys, look at these are my thoughts on the episode. Comment out your thoughts and leave us below in the comment section. Rate the video, subscribe if you want to see more reviews, and I'll see you guys next week. Have a great and safe day, guys and gals. Bye-bye.